At the dawn of humanity, a new chapter was about to begin. 10,000 years ago, the world stood on the edge of change. For millions of years, humans had hunted and gathered, moving with the seasons, surviving on nature's terms. But then, something shifted. People discovered a power that would transform not just the land, but the very story of humanity. This was the agricultural revolution. For the vast majority of our existence, humanity lived on the move. We were nomads, organized in small, tight-knit bands, following the rhythm of the seasons and animal migrations. Life was a precarious dance with nature. Survival depended on an intimate knowledge of the land where to find edible plants and how to track prey. Every day was a relentless search for sustenance, a life lived on the edge, where a failed hunt or a harsh winter could mean disaster. Then around 12,000 years ago, in the lush lands of the Fertile Crescent, a revolutionary observation was made. Hunter-gatherers noticed that seeds from wild grasses they collected, when spilled near their campsites, would grow into new plants the following year. This wasn't just a fleeting curiosity, it was a recurring pattern. This simple observation sparked a monumental shift. What if they didn't have to find their food? What if they could grow it? Tentative experiments began. People started deliberately saving and planting the seeds of useful plants like wild wheat and barley. Over generations, this careful cultivation became a reliable practice. Humanity had unlocked the secret of agriculture, learning to partner with the land to create abundance. Across the globe, a revolutionary idea took root. Early farmers began the slow process of taming wild plants. In the Fertile Crescent, they selected the hardiest wheat and barley. In Asia, they cultivated rice, and in the Americas, they transformed a wild grass into maize. This was a conscious act of shaping nature, choosing the best plants to sow for the next harvest, ensuring a predictable food source. Simultaneously, they began domesticating animals. Wild sheep, goats, pigs, and cattle were brought into the fold. This shift turned the unpredictable hunt into a reliable supply of meat, milk, and hides. These animals also provided wool for clothing and eventually the power to pull plows, fundamentally changing human labor and society. With the stable food source, the nomadic chase for survival ended. For the first time, people could stay in one place. Small villages appeared, built beside rivers where the soil was rich. This new permanence allowed populations to grow and communities to flourish, laying the very foundation for civilization. Farming demanded new tools. Stone sickles and grinding stones gave way to innovations like plows. Later, with the discovery of metals, bronze and iron tools made fields easier to work and harvests greater than ever before. Farming also changed how people thought. Surplus food meant not everyone had to farm. Some became builders, traders, or leaders. Society itself was born. With settled life came stronger bonds and stronger beliefs. Farming tied people to the cycles of sun and rain. They built rituals to honor the forces that gave life to their crops. Communities gathered, shared harvests, and worshipped together. Temples rose beside fields, symbols of the growing connection between survival and belief. As villages grew, they merged into towns, and towns into cities. Surpluses fed larger populations, markets bustled, trade expanded, and knowledge spread faster than ever. From Mesopotamia to the Indus Valley, from the Nile to the Yellow River, farming fueled the birth of civilization itself. Roads, writing, and organized laws all traced their roots back to this single revolution. The agricultural revolution was more than just the invention of farming. It was a profound turning point where humanity began to shape the world instead of being shaped by it. The ability to cultivate crops and domesticate animals created something unprecedented, a food surplus. This surplus was the catalyst for everything that followed, allowing populations to grow exponentially and freeing people from the constant search for food. With food security came specialization. Not everyone had to be a farmer. Artisans, soldiers, priests, and leaders emerged, creating complex social structures. From wandering hunters to builders of cities, we had crossed a threshold no other species had ever crossed, laying the very foundations for civilization itself. And this monumental shift was only the beginning. These new societies became crucibles of innovation, giving birth to writing, formal laws, mathematics, and astronomy. They built staggering monuments that still defy imagination. In our next journey, we'll explore these first great civilizations, from the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia to the banks of the Nile. We'll see how ancient civilizations rose, and how their ideas, struggles, and empires still echo powerfully in our lives today. This is Factonic Facts, exploring the wonders of science and the universe. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.